Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
A few changes are coming to online exams.
The conversations have been done, and we need to have the solutions now.
The cost of camping continues to skyrocket.
Camping's great for me because I get back to nature. Gives me a chance to go, like I say, biking or fishing with my friend.
The U of A is putting historical sites up for sale.
Get the university to press the pause button. Press the pause button. What's the harm?
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening and welcome to NAIT NewsWatch. As the end of the semester approaches, many students are taking their exams at home.
Students will have to go through exam proctoring, which is where schools oversee the exams and how they're delivered. However, a new system is adding more stress to an already stressful situation. Our own Phil Zakan joins us live from our news center with more on that story.
Thanks guys. So with online learning, many schools have started to put in place exam monitoring programs to help prevent cheating, but students are finding that these programs are causing more problems.
The University of Alberta has been using programs such as Exam Lock and Smart Exam Monitoring to prevent cheating during exams. These programs run in the background of students' computers and flag any activities that might be seen as suspicious. Students have to go through an extensive process before taking the exam, such as doing a 360-degree view of the room the student is currently in. David Draper, the Vice President Academic of the U of A Students Association, has been fighting to ban exam proctoring since last May.
There's enough issues with student privacy, student exam anxiety, and just the ability for it to be an accurate measurement of assessment because of all the external factors. It's not actually it's not a strong measurement of how you're doing in a course. It's not an accurate way to take an exam.
There are also many equity concerns with the programs.
For people of color, very often it says that you're not well lit enough, regardless of how much lighting you have, because it doesn't actually pick out facial features.
There are also issues for people part of the LGBTQ+ community.
If your ID isn't representative of who you are as a person, and not having that allowed and having that flagged as an imposter can be very, very devalidating as somebody who is trans.
Lack of support from professors also seem to be adding stress to students as well.
I had one good experience and one bad experience. My one professor was really good about giving us a demo of the software and explaining that actually a lot of the students had been requesting it because of concerns around cheating. But I did have a bad experience where I found my other professor wasn't as supportive and I had trouble downloading the software, specifically Exam Lock. And I just found this professor wasn't very helpful with questions or helping students with the software.
While the U of A is pushing back on online exam monitoring, what does that look like at other universities? So what does that mean for students at NAIT, and how does online exam monitoring affect them?
It varies. It is something that is available to all instructors at NAIT. So it's up to them. And of course, with the orientation of their, program chairs and deans, to decide how they're going to do it. But to my knowledge, there is no deliberation from NAIT to either stop or use it in all exams.
So while NAIT has not received many pushback from students about online monitoring, David is hoping that the University of Alberta will just ban online proctoring altogether. But if that can't be done, David would like to see just major improvements in the programs.
So, Philza, have you tried the software and what was your experience like?
So I actually did try the software. I found one online that's similar to what the U of A uses, and I actually found that when I was just sitting in my room, normally it did not recognize my face because I have darker skin. I actually had to sit directly in front of a window when the sun was out in order to be recognized.
So Philza, this problem doesn't seem to be as severe at NAIT. Why do you think that is?
So what I have learned is that NAIT actually is not required to use a lot of online proctoring exams. Most instructors actually just use Microsoft Teams, and they just ask the students to have their cameras and mics on at all times while the exam is going on. I also know that some instructors, like in the radio and television program that we're in, they have just been doing open book exams just to prevent cheating altogether.
Thanks, Philza. That's Philza Khan reporting live from our news center tonight.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch.
It's Pride Week at NAIT, and despite most students still learning from home, the school has some special plans.
Hello and happy Pride Week.
Virtual Pride Week kicked off last week with a video sent out that included staff and students from multiple post-secondary schools, including NAIT and MacEwan University. Pride at NAIT President Kira Krumka says events and groups like those offered at NAIT are still very important.
Pride clubs, such as ours, gives a chance to make connections and help people figure out things that they're going through.
Events this week include a virtual Pride Walk under the hashtag Pride at NAIT and a virtual filter on Instagram stories. Pride at NAIT holds weekly online gatherings and welcomes anyone to join them.
The 4 historic ring houses that stand on the University of Alberta campus are in danger of being torn down. University faculty responsible for the decision cite the rising cost of upkeep and the value of the land that the homes sit on as the main reasons for the decision for the houses to be torn down. Historian, author, and U of A alumni Ellen Scheck wants the university to think more about the impact of their decision.
I think the hope of everyone who's involved in this effort to get the university to press the pause button. Press the pause button. What's the harm?
A petition to save the ring houses already has well over 2,200 signatures, and the university put the houses up for sale to anyone who wants to try and move the homes. In a 7-day period, they received over 3 dozen offers from groups and individuals.
The City of Edmonton has announced that the Shared Streets program will be returning this spring. The program will have sections of streets closed off to give more room for pedestrians and cyclists.
So I think the shared streets became an answer to allow people to get out, get fresh air, to get exercise, but continue to social distance.
While there is no official list of the roadways that will be part of the project, Councillor Henderson says that it will be similar to last year, which will include Saskatchewan Drive, Victoria Promenade, and sections of Jasper Avenue.
Camping registration opened earlier this week, and much like last year, campsites filled up quickly and the website crashed. In a tweet from Alberta Parks, they bring up concerns about people reselling campsites and how this is not allowed. For Ryan Samard, this isn't a huge concern, but more of a disappointment.
People are trying to get out, just experience some nature as even like a family or a friends thing, and it's kind of greasy that people are trying to profit off of that.
Despite the people trying to profit from the popularity of camping, Samard says that won't stop him from trying to get out as much as he can during the summer. Coming up after the break, we have a look at the way students can take the stress out of tax season.
The NAIT Accounting Club is offering to help students do their taxes for free this semester.
No one else but the person and the volunteer is able to access it.
This is Sarah Gooda from NewsWatch Entertainment. This week we interview one of Edmonton's local graffiti artists about his latest mural. We also talk to one of the prominent female skate clubs in Edmonton and a drive-through opera. All this and more after the break.
Are we going to need these pesky little things one more time? Or is it finally time to go for a nice spring cruise? I'll let you know after the break.
Well, looks like we're in store for a clear weekend, don't you think, Thomas?
It certainly looks that way, but unfortunately, we won't get to enjoy as much of that sunlight as we might want. Our own Dawson Patrician has more with the NewsWatch forecast.
That is exactly right, Thomas. This weekend, we're going to be setting our clocks one hour ahead. But the good news is that we're going to see some bright, sunny, and warm weather to go along with that. In Calgary, we've got a high of +12 and a low of -1, a 0% chance of precipitation. So great news there. And we've also got a nice warm wind going through the prairies. And in Jasper, we've got a high of +10 and a low of -5. Again, 0% chance of precipitation. So if you want to get any snow sports done for the rest of the year, you would want to get that in as soon as possible. Now in Fort McMurray, unfortunately, we do have a high of +3 and a low of -8. But the good news is for them is that they have a nice bubble of warm air going up towards the north. Now in Edmonton, we've got a high of +7 and a low of -4. Again, 0% chance of anything coming down from the skies. But the good news is that we are actually well above average for this time of year, which just so happened to be a high of +1 and a low of -7. And our records for this time of year are a high of +15 in 2015, just 6 years ago, and a low of -38 in 1906, which is well over 6 years ago. Now, this has been it for the weather. Back to you guys.
NewsWatch Weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
As April approaches, so does the deadline to file your taxes.
However, if you're unsure where to even start to get ready for this tax season, there is help available.
The NAIT Accounting Club is offering a virtual tax clinic for those who may need the help. If you made under $30,000 last year and are currently a student of NAIT, you can book an appointment and have a NAIT student help you file.
We have student volunteers or accounting student volunteers. They will be using a program called UFile for the taxes to file the tax returns, and it will be through private channels, so no one else but the person and the volunteer is able to access it.
Time slots are available on the 19th and 26th of March, but space is filling up fast. Appointments are already over 65% filled. If you want to book an appointment, there are links to the schedule on the Accounting Club of NAIT's Instagram and Facebook pages.
So, Thomas, have you heard about the immersive Van Gogh exhibit that's coming to Edmonton?
I have, and it looks really interesting. Sarah Guda has more on this and other events you can check out in this week's Entertainment Update.
If you're looking for a way to welcome spring and experience live music during COVID, the Drive-Thru Edmonton Opera is the perfect opportunity. This year's new production, Songs of Spring, is already almost sold out. Returning for the third time, the Edmonton Opera is offering drive-in concerts from the roof of the Jubilee Auditorium. After 4 months of preparation, the Songs of Spring Productions is happening this weekend. But how will the artists perform in this chilly weather? In addition to adhering to COVID regulations, Marketing Director Cameron McRae tells us changes they made in putting this year's show together.
Working in Canada, we're always dealing with weather. So we have actually purchased these bubbles. They almost look like rectangular kind of inflatable structures, and they have a clear front. So we're able to have a heater inside, a microphone, a camera, and create a really comfortable atmosphere for the singer to sing in.
With protective measures held in place, the Edmonton Opera ensures a safe and comfortable space for both performers and audiences alike. Tickets for this early spring experience can be found on their website, edmontonopera.com. For one of his latest installments, this Edmonton artist created a mural made out of healthcare workers' feelings. The mural of many words expresses how they have been feeling during the pandemic, and you can find it in the McMullen Gallery at the University of Alberta Hospital. H.A. Loudon's graffiti art can be found in parks, malls, or by the streets. His latest installment is in a hospital. For the Friends of University Hospital project, healthcare workers have sent in words describing their emotions regarding the pandemic. Loudon received around 150 words and named his tribute Hero Haven.
You'll see that there's a lot of positive, hopeful words that kind of represent this light at the end of the tunnel, but there's also a lot of challenging emotions represented, like grief, despair, anxiety. Being exhausted was one of the things that we heard the most. And so I just want to say how grateful I am for the healthcare community that was able to just take the time to respond to a survey like this.
After taking around 40 hours to spray paint, the mural will remain hanging at a lounging area for the healthcare workers for the next 6 months in the U of A hospital. What's trending this week? For all art lovers, the immersive Imagine Van Gogh experience by Annabelle Mauger and Julian Barron is making its way to Edmonton on March 27. The exhibition will display video projections of around 200 paintings of the Dutch artist's work at the Edmonton Expo Center. This modern take will have Van Gogh's different art completely covering the walls and the grounds of the exhibit, while classical music plays in the background. You may purchase your ticket at imaginevangogh.com. Since being established a year ago, the Tiger Skate Club is becoming one of Edmonton's first and prominent female skate clubs. Open to all ages and levels, the club was created for girls and women looking for a supportive and friendly environment to skate. A member from the starting four of the Tiger Skate Club, Denis Bizayev, has picked up the skateboard again after many years of putting it down. And with the club's encouragement and support system, women are steadily joining to be part of this male-dominated sport. Bizayev said the varying ages of women joining are a clear indication of how inclusive the club has been.
We have women and girls between the ages of 5 and more than 40, who have joined. And so there's a handful of us that are nearing 40 or over 40 who we just relish in it. It's been incredible to be a part of this multi-generational skate club.
Denise said that after many years of not skateboarding, revisiting the sport was just the outlet she needed during this pandemic. If you would like to join them, get a Tiger shirt or stickers, feel free to reach out to the team on their Instagram account, Tiger Skate Club, or you can find merch at the 124 Skate Shop. In honor of International Women's Day being early this week, we interview a 15-year-old Edmontonian soccer player who is one of the few to be scouted for a prestigious football program in England. 15-year-old Kelly Butts is one of 16 girls internationally to have signed with the 2-year Mount Kelly boarding and day school program in Tavistock, England. So far, she's the only Canadian on the team. Kelly said she did not expect to get this program at only the age of 15, and despite soccer being a male-dominated sport, Kelly says now is the time to join women's soccer.
It is changing, it is progressing, and we saw like the 2020 Women's World Cup. It had a very high viewer count, and I think there's a lot more impact and a lot more people are starting to take notice of women's soccer.
Kelly said she's looking forward to learning about this new culture of football, high-level training, and overall experience. She said going to England will be like a stepping stone in her pursuit of playing professionally. So, did you guys see any events that caught your attention?
Yeah, I'm really interested in the Imagine Van Gogh. I just bought my sister tickets for that for her birthday, so we're both pretty excited to go there.
That's great. What about you, Tom?
Yeah, the Van Gogh looks pretty interesting. I've actually walked by the street artist Pineapple that's just down the street from my house.
Oh, what a small world after all.
Yeah, so that has been Sarah Guda with NewsWatch Entertainment. Well, Josh, it sure seems like this year is just flying by, don't you think?
Totally agree. Hard to believe it's almost spring. I think I saw a couple of geese already around Edmonton, so I think spring is just around the corner.
And as winter comes to an end, so does this episode of NAIT NewsWatch. Be sure to tune in next week and have a good night.